Good afternoon, guys. I guess by the time you're watching this video, it'll be almost noon. This is just a reminder of how to make sure that you are building your major scales properly. I'm going to go grab that piano keyboard off the wall, cover it up, put it right here so that you guys can see that as we do this worksheet. Just a reminder, remembering that sharps go up. Okay, flats are going to go down when you're approaching those accidental notes. Okay, I'm going to do the first scale in treble clef. A reminder that sharp scales cannot mix with flat scales. So you're never going to have a scale that is A flat, B sharp, C, D flat, E sharp. You're never going to have that. You also have to make sure when you are doing your scales that there is at least one of every single note name represented in the scale. So you're going to go back around that direction if you're going up, and then back down you would go backwards, of course. In all of your scale worksheets, though, the scale only has to be written going up. I just need to make sure that you know it going up because it's the same thing coming down. All right, we'll do treble clef. So what you're going to have on your worksheet is going to be the note name for that particular scale. Now, I know some of you guys have your scales memorized. It's not about having the scale memorized. It's about understanding the pattern for a major scale, which means the first note will be a whole step from the second note, the next a whole step, the next a half, the next a whole, another whole, and the last two notes will be a half step apart from each other. That's your pattern for a major scale. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So they should all fit within that. I'm going to do a really difficult scale per se. Let me make myself some space up here because I'm going to need it. That way it's not too confusing on the notes. All right, we're going to do F sharp major, which I know you could use your circle of fourths and fifths, or if you have F sharp major memorized, then it's going to be easy because you'll just be using the circle of fourths and fifths. Don't want you to do that. I want you to understand the pattern and using our piano keyboard here. Okay? Actually, you know what? Let's do F major first, even though I know you know it. So we need to go a whole step from F. A whole step is going to be two jumps on the piano keyboard. So F to F sharp and F sharp to G. All right? So our next step, our next note would be a whole step from F up. That's going to be a G. All right? The next one has to be a whole step also. We're on G, so we're going to go two jumps. 1, 2 on the piano keyboard, and that note is A. Now, since the next note, we've got F, G, A, the next note has to be named some kind of B. All right? Technically, I need to go only a half step from A, so I'm going to go up by a half step from A. Well, I could call that note A sharp, but it cannot be A sharp. It has to be a B flat because the next note, F, G, A, has to be named some kind of B. How can you call that note A sharp? It is also a B flat. So I know we know F major, so this should be fairly simple. A is a half step below B flat, so it fits. We're going to go a whole step from B flat, so B flat is where we are. A whole step, two jumps, 1, 2, okay, is C. And that fits within our pattern of needing to name our notes there. So a whole step from C, again, 1 jump, 2 jumps, since that's our whole step, would be D. Okay? There's our D. Another whole step from D, 1, 2 half steps, jumped, and that puts us on E natural. Okay? And the last step should be a half step to get to our very last note, E to F. There's no black key in between on the piano keyboard, E to F. So that one is our half step. E to F, is already a half step. It fits in our scale. F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. And that's what I need you to do is actually write your notes next to the note as it's written. Now, if they're asking you to actually write your note underneath, which is what it will do, I need you to make sure, some of you who like to cram all your notes in, to write it underneath the note. I will count it incorrect this next time through. So make sure you write the name of the note underneath the note head that you write in the staff. All right? So let's go back and do F sharp major. Well, we've already got F written down, so this obviously is not one that's going to be on your scale sheet that you have to write in, okay? I've already got F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. I used all of the notes within the letter names that we use for our scale. I'm not going to have to rewrite it. I just have to fit the sharps and the sharps in. Now, F sharp major is not a flat scale. If you start on a sharp, that means it's going to be a sharp scale. If you start on a natural note, like we did with F, you're going to have to count your half steps. You also need to make sure that you're using every letter within the note names that we use. Okay? So we've got F sharp here. We need to go 2 jumps from F sharp, 1 half step, another half step. That makes our whole step. Now we have to call this note some kind of G. We're going to call it G sharp. A whole step from G sharp to the next note. It has to be named some kind of A. G sharp, 1 jump, that's to A. And then another jump, A to the next key would be A sharp. Okay? A sharp, we need a half step to go from A sharp to the next note, some kind of B. Well, we're on A sharp. A sharp to B natural is a half step, so that is correct. All right, then we've got to go from B to some kind of C. That's got to be a whole step up. 1 jump here, there's no black key in between, so that means it's a half step. Another jump up, that puts us at C sharp. Okay, we're now on C sharp, so we're going to go from C sharp to some kind of D. It has to be a whole step up. So 1 jump, 2 jumps, that puts us on D sharp. All right, we're on D sharp right here. We have to go a whole step up to some kind of E, and this is where it's going to get a little weird if you're not paying attention and you're not marking yourself and you're not using your keyboard. Use your keyboard to mark where you need to go. So we're on D sharp. We've got a whole step up to some kind of E. 1 jump puts us on E. Another half step puts us on F because there's no black key in between E and F. It's already a half step. So, but Miss Davis, we can't do F. It has to be named some kind of E. Well, what is this key also named? If I use an enharmonic key and go up a half step from E, what is it? It's E sharp. E sharp is the same thing as F. That's using our enharmonics. Okay, got to know our enharmonics. They're so important. Also making sure that we name every note within the scale. So we've got E sharp. We're already on that note. It's the same as F. We're on E sharp there. We've got to go up a half step to some kind of F. Half step, that puts us on the tonic note. Remember, tonic means the first note of the scale should be the same as the last. And I will name my notes. I speak them F sharp, even though it's written sharp F. I speak them F sharp, so that's how I write my notes in underneath. G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, even though it's the same thing as F, we have to call it some kind of E, and F sharp, and that is our F major scale. And if we were coming over looking at our circle of fourths and fifths, okay, it fits within the pattern. F sharp major has six sharps, and looking at it on the board here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because that's the same as the first note, so we've already counted that one. Hopefully this will help you with your major scales and understanding the major scale pattern. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. That is the steps to build your major scales. Do your best, get your worksheet done.